To join me now to talk more about resolving the federal budget shutdown as well as other issues facing the new democratically controlled House of Representatives, Christine Pelosi. She is a civil rights lawyer. She is the chair of the California Democratic Party's Women's Caucus, and she just happens to be the daughter of the new Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Christine Pelosi, thanks so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera.
My pleasure, thank you.
So, pomp and ceremony over. Now trying to set the rules of debate, trying to figure out how to get the government back open to serve the U.S. public. How is it going? What does your mother believe is going to be the toughest hurdle to clear in order to reopen the government?
Well, it's a great day for democracy. It's a beautiful day to see over 100 women being sworn into the United States Congress together, over 95 of them being Democrats, but the Republicans have their members too, and that's very exciting. So we're hoping that on a day like this, the first thing that Congress will do will vote to reopen government. The House members will be voting momentarily on that. It'll go back over to the Senate where it was passed 100-0, and then the senators will have to make a decision about whether or not they want to bring it up again. But really, when you talk about the federal workers who are providing vital services to the American people and going without money and paychecks themselves, it really is a sad time in our country. So our hope is that the House members will vote, the Senate will have the sense to pick it up, and that there will be a vote to reopen government in the Senate as soon as possible.
One of the things that the Speaker spoke about on Thursday was the fact that Congress is a co-equal member of the government. It's not subordinate to the executive branch, or more popularly to the president. How do you expect to see the House of Representatives in particular, and Congress overall, exert its influence as provided for under the Constitution?
Well, as Speaker Pelosi said, it's Article 1, Section 8. Not only are they co-equal branches of government, but the first branch of government is the legislative branch. So when it comes to legislation to open the government, reopen the government, and to protect health care and to otherwise meet the mandate of the voters, they'll be legislating. They'll also be litigating. The House of Representatives, now the Democrats are in control, so they will step into the shoes of the former Obama administration officials who were defending the Affordable Care Act's protections for people with pre-existing medical conditions against a lawsuit that the Trump administration supports. Also, they're doing oversight. So one of the things that is going to happen is that you will see oversight by people with very important gavels. Adam Schiff, Elijah Cummings, Maxine Waters, and others who will be playing an important role to find out why were these decisions being made in the executive branch and where can we possibly have some leverage to change those decisions, not only to reopen government, but to make government work more responsibly for people.
We were talking before about the need to reach across the aisle. The Speaker talked about the need to reach across the aisle because people just don't represent those who share their political views. They represent all of the people who live in their districts. How important is it to do that kind of bipartisan outreach? Can it be successful as we look to the 2020 presidential election being right around the corner?
Well, I think it has to be. One of the things that we were doing in putting together over 10,000 grassroots events to protect our care, something the Speaker also mentioned, and making millions of phone calls, is that we would tell people, you're not calling a Democrat or a Republican, and you're not calling as a Democrat or as a Republican. You're calling as a patient. You're calling as a mom. You're calling as a son of a patient. So tell your story, speak your personal truth, and appeal to the members as someone who represents you as a patient, as a constituent, and not as a partisan. And that's why we were so successful in building support. So whether it is the personal storytelling and appeal when it comes to health care, or whether it's gun violence prevention, or whether it's climate action, you have these bipartisan coalitions out there where the public is far ahead of the politicians. And as the Speaker said today, Congress needs to catch up.
We'll leave it there. Christine Pelosi, daughter of the once and current House Speaker and civil rights attorney, member of the California Democratic Party. Nastasia, we will turn it back to you. Obviously, now that Congress is back in session, it's back to a lot of late nights, a lot of meetings and discussions, and trying to find an effort to get things back on track. Certainly, both Republicans and Democrats are hearing that from their constituents, that they are starting to be affected by this government shutdown. Back to you.